Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the speakers. A couple things to know about the speakers. When you first plug them in, you should be plugging them into the SP port on the digital part of your Cortex. Also, when you turn on your Cortex and you have your speaker plugged in, make sure that the sound is up on the side of the speaker so you know if it's working or not. When you turn the Cortex on, you'll hear a beeping noise. That means that speaker is good. If you're not hearing any noise from the speaker and the lights are green, odds are that the speaker isn't any good, and you might need to check to see if you have a different speaker. So let's go ahead and get into the coding part of it. I'm going to be showing you how to multitask with your speakers, because if I just showed you how to use the speaker and you're not able to use the motors, then there's not really a point of using the speakers. So this video is going to show you all of that. Let's start by go ahead and making sure that we have everything set up. In this sample you can see that I have two if statements. One's for a push button where I'm going to add the speaker in. The other push button is going to run some motors. Keeping those separate and making sure that we're able to start the speaker, and then we're also going to be able to start the motors right after we do that. So the first thing you need to do is you're going to go up to Window and go down to menu level. And you're going to have to be above, I think you're going to have to choose Super User. I would just go to the highest one, Super User. You're probably set on Basic. If you're not on Super User, you're not going to be able to use the Ringtone Converter, which is what we're going to be using. So once I get into Super User and then I go back into the Window tab, now you see Ringtone Converter Utility. This is what we're going to use in order to change the ringtone into robot C code. So when I click on Ringtone Converter, it auto defaults to Mission Impossible. So what you could do is you can technically just play on your PC. Alright, so you hear Mission Impossible playing. And so this is in ringtone. I'm going to wait till that ends because it's really obnoxious. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that because we're not going to do that obnoxious one. Instead, we're going to do Barbie Girl. So I'm going to clear this out, and I'm going to go to the Ringtone Converter or the ringtone options that you have. This is a website that your teacher should give you that has a bunch of different options. If you look on the left, it's going to have like the name of it. So here, I don't know, let's do one that's not obnoxious like Barbie Girl. So here's the name of it right here, and then this whole line is going to be all the code that you're going to need to convert. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the whole thing, and I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back into my Robot C, and I'm going to paste it over on this side. Okay. Once you have it pasted here, you are then going to go ahead and convert it to C. Okay, and it's going to lay out all your code that you're going to be putting into your actual workspace over here. But before we do that, you're going to want to play it first on your computer to make sure it sounds right. What you're going to notice with a song like this, I'm going to go ahead and play it. The tempo is not quite right. So if I play it on the PC, it is very slow. And so we're going to want to change that. Okay, so here is tempo, and so you can see that that's set at 125. Over here you can see that B is 125, so that's your tempo. And so if we want to speed that up, I'm going to increase this. So let's just say like 200. I'm going to convert that to C, and that's going to change this code so it's going to pick up and paste. So now if I play it, it's going to be much faster. Wow, that is just fantastic. Alright, so now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and copy all of this. Basically, I only have to copy up to the brackets. I'm going to leave out the void because we're going to type in something a little bit different in the code. So I'm going to copy this with the bracket, and then I'm going to close out. And I think I actually have to click on this X for it to work. So when we're multitasking, we actually have to create a task before our task main. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name it task, and then I'm just going to call it song, since that's what we're going to play. And then I can go ahead and just paste what I have. So now my task song is going to basically be all that code that it generated for me. All right. Now, when I run my robot, when I hit play, it's not in the task main, so nothing is going to happen. All right. So I want to go ahead and call this task down here whenever I press the button. Okay. And so in order to do that, I'm going to kind of space over here. You got to write start task. And then you're going to have parenthesis. I'm going to put space in here just in case. And so we called it song, so I'm going to type in song. And then that's going to call it. Let's just do it like that. I'm going to compile my program to make sure that that is in fact correct. Okay, notice a lot of these yellow X's. These are just because if you look, it says it's substituting a similar variable playtone for playtone. I have this capitalized. Really, it should be lowercase according to this. That's not a big deal. I can actually leave that. And then the same thing down here. This technically should be a lowercase s, so I can change that one. I don't want to sit through and change all these playtones, so I'm just not going to do it. And then over here, I can just tell my motors to do whatever I want. So I have right motor set up. So if I press push button 2, maybe I want my right motor to run at full speed for 3 seconds, and then turn off. Okay, and so with this, I can now press my first push button to play the song, and then I can also press my second button to then start my motors right after. And that will allow your song to play, and you are also going to be able to run your motors.